Hello and welcome back to another tabs tutorial. Today I will be going over a new feature of the time clock and report statuses. The reason we added this new mechanic into tabs is because some companies require a manager to approve a payroll submission to a time clock, or perhaps a report that needs to go up the chain of approval in the hierarchy of the company before it gets submitted and finalized. So what we did was we took time clocks and report mechanics that are already inside of tabs, and we made it so that you're able to submit them but not have them approved or be reflected in the system until a manager signs off on them. So today I'm going to show you how to set up those statuses, and then I'm going to run through how they actually will work on the data entry side of the field. So first thing we're going to do is, this is the administration account of a fictional Marplot Industries organization that I built up in tabs. And in order to get to making the edits to the time clock, which is the first one we're going to do, go to Administration, Time Clock Statuses. As you can see here, I have a series of these already built in, but I'm going to go ahead and remove these, and then we'll build them back up so that way you can see how it actually works out. Once we're on this screen, we just need to navigate to whatever department it is we're working with. So as you can see here, we have Marplot Industries at the top, and then payroll. And I'm actually going to take us into the sales side of the house for this one. So as you can see, I have two sections here already again, but I'm going to remove them, and we'll start from scratch. So first thing we need is a default, and we're going to call this one Request Submitted for the time clock. And we're going to go and just a brief description. Say this time clock entry has not been verified by a manager. Then you have three settings here. Default, there can be only one of, and that is, this is the status that this time clock entry will have the moment that it gets submitted. So this is request submitted, and we'll make this the default. And we'll select add. The second one that we're going to make is going to be called request reviewed, and we will call it. And this is this request has been reviewed by a manager, and it's not going to be the default because we already have one here. But then we're going to make it so that it certifies, and in this case, certification simply means that this has been approved. This is good to go. This can be forwarded on to the next organization. We can also make it finalized, and what this means is that it will lock this entry and make it so that it cannot be edited anymore. And you can do it on this level, and in this case we will. So there we go. We just have two simple time statuses here. One that will certify and lock it, and the other that is the default request waiting to be submitted. Now that we've set up the time clock statuses, we're able to actually see how they work on the data entry level. So what I've done is I've gone into the sales section, you can see it right here, of Marplot Industries, and I've logged in as our sales manager, Stephanie Myers. Not a real person, but you know, she's here for the example. So we go to Administration, Time Clock, and Manage Records. And you'll see that there's another employee here, Sarah Parker, and she has one time clock entry currently slated here for today. You can see there's the status section here, and we can go ahead and select what it is that we want to see. Now, as the manager, we can see that she has, how long was it? Oh, she spent a little under an hour working on a client meeting. So we look at that and we say, okay, request has been submitted and request has been reviewed. And then we can enter a note saying, I approve, or keep up the good work, or whatever. So then you select the submit button, and that changes the status on this time clock to whatever it is you need it to be. On the other hand, if you wanted to kick it back and say, no, this isn't good enough, or no, I need more information, then you can select this button here, the blank space over top of the default and the other sections, and go, no, this isn't good, I need more information. and it would kick it back and it would not be certified or finalized anymore. And you can see that here and here. Alright, so that concludes time clock statuses. Let's take a look at how to set up a report status. So we're logged back in as Stephanie Meyer, our sales manager. We're going to go to Administration, Reports, and Report Statuses. And we're going to add 2 report statuses. First one will be Submitted, and this will be our default. And the second one will be Approved. And that will not be our default, but that will be our complete and finalized. Excellent. Now let's go ahead and see what that looks like from the data entry side. As Sarah Parker, we're now going to do a little bit of data entry. So I'm going to go up to Dashboard, Add Report, and then we see the one kind of form that exists for Marplot Industries, and that is the expense form. So we're going to fill it out, and it'll be Sarah Parker. Her name, sales manager is S. Meyer. This will be for the month of April. We'll use today's date, and the expense description will be gas for, let's say, $20. So submit done. And you can see that this expense form is here. And she, from this point, still has the ability to edit it. And it's not quite ready for submission, but the moment she selects the complete button here, it cannot be modified by her after, and it's got that submitted status that we made on the manager side a minute ago. So why don't we go ahead and switch over, log out as Sarah Parker, and check out what the manager would see from this perspective once this report has been submitted. Logged back in as Miss Meyer, as the sales manager, we can now take a look at her reports by going up to Administration, Reports, Manage Reports. And you'll see this expense form that has been submitted to her. And you can see that because it was completed, it has the status of submitted already applied to it. So let's take a look at what it is that our employee sent to us. It looks like Sarah went for a drive for something business related and spent $20 worth of gas. That's fine, but I don't see any receipt here, so I want to kick it back to her. So I'm going to go up to Status, select the blank space above it, and go, there's no receipt. Spelled correctly, of course. Select the Submit button, and then it's kicked back down to her. Let's say that Sarah comes back to me with the receipt, and I go, okay, that's fine. We'll kick it up for approval. I can use that same drop-down menu later and select the Approval section. Looks all good. And you can see that I can no longer edit this report like I was able to a minute ago, and it's been both completed and finalized. The only way to edit it then is to kick it back and change its status, and you can see that you can actually view the report and edit it or delete it altogether. That is how you deal with time clock and report statuses in tabs. Very useful, if a very niche ability. I hope that you found this tutorial useful, and I hope to see you back here for some more tutorials in the future. Thank you very much for watching.